Emily, right here.
Whoa, Emily, please. Emily.
Lynn, right here, please. Lynn, right here. And with your wife.
Straight ahead, Lin-Manuel, one more time.
Look up.
And bend that smile again. And bend, stay with me for a second, bend. Over the shoulder, Miss Mortimer, over the shoulder. Guys, this way right here. That right here, Joe, together. Face me, Joe, face me. Blow him a kiss. Face me. Thank you, Jeremy, right here.
And Miss Marshall, take you right here. Right here. And right in front. And Miss Marshall.
Right here, nice and tight together, right here. Sandy, right here for me, Sandy. Straight ahead, stop, right here. That big smile.
Straight ahead, please. Get both eyes straight ahead, please.
I'm not in this one.
Matt, on your right. Matt, on your right.
Luciana, right
Mr. Damon, sir, on your right here, sir.
And Mr. Damon.
Hey, Matt.
Right here, guys.
John, straight ahead. Stay with me, John. Give John. Real quick. Oh, hey.
And a little smile, Karen.
Taking a step forward for me. And sorry.
And the end again, Miss right here. And Rick.
They're coming in now.
Hey! Perfect. There it is. Everybody up. Yes.
Go good.
Oh, she is so iconic and she means so much to so many people, and so I really wanted to honor that and yet try my own version of her. And you know, or what's the point of taking her on if you can't carve out new space for yourself? So I think it was that combination and that fine line I think everybody felt doing this film, was to honor it and yet create something new, you know. Well, I just think it's such a, as my husband calls it, a joy bomb on your soul. So it's like, it's so overwhelmingly joyful and hopeful and such a great unifier. And I think that what more do you want at Christmas than to go and see something that just emboldens you and fills you with so much life, you know. Well, we've waited 54 years to see her come back, and I've heard people watching our version, this Mary Poppins Returns, and just saying, I didn't realize how much I needed her to come back until I saw her coming out of the skies. And that just means so much to me, because I think she is this very poignant character who comes in and fixes everything and makes everything right again, but through magic and fantasia. And then she leaves again, you know, but I think she makes it this beautiful sort of voyage of self-discovery for you and for the audience, you know, to rediscover your inner child, you know. Well, I think Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman are such enormous fans of the original, which can only help because they never wanted to make the 2018 version of Mary Poppins, you know. I think they wanted to imbue the whole thing with nostalgia and the music that they grew up being completely inspired by. I mean, Mark Shaman says he learned everything from the original soundtrack when he was 4 years old. He just listened to it and was transported to this other place, and even at 4 he was like, why does this make me feel this way? And so I feel the music is just so full of feeling more than anything.
We seem to have brought a lovely London sky to Los Angeles, so the driving's a little worse, but it's a perfect setting for our film tonight. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I mean, Disney, you know, they do it right. They do these red carpets right. My first film was actually a movie called The Odd Life of Timothy Green for Disney. I had a small part in that. And seeing a green carpet it was the first time I'd ever seen one of those. So you know, they always do it right. I mean, I don't think I would have had the guts to do it without Rob Marshall and Emily Blunt involved. Rob Marshall is one of my favorite directors of film musicals, full stop. I knew I'd be getting a graduate course in film school just by working for him. And then Emily Blunt is the perfect Mary Poppins. There's not another actress of our generation who could do this role justice the way she has. And from the second she stepped on set, she just was Mary Poppins. The kids listened to her. Adventures abounded. She was just Mary. I always say it feels like Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman were writing in the room next door to the Sherman Brothers in 1964, because it has that timeless quality that they brought to it. I mean, that music doesn't date. You know, those supercalifragilisticexpialidocious belongs to the world. And I feel like Mark and Scott wrote a love letter to those original songs while carving out terrain all their own.
Yes, it was really such a privilege. It felt like such a privilege, I think. And for all of us, it turns out that everybody in the movie feels very, very close to the original movie, and it was a very important part of their childhood, as I think it was of everybody's childhood that I've ever met. I mean, there's nobody I've met who doesn't feel like Mary Poppins was hugely important to them growing up. But in a way, of course, that's a huge responsibility and intimidating, but it's also feels like a great privilege. And when you all really love the thing that you're doing, and you kind of, I don't know, you want to do right by it. And so it was exciting and fun, and everything came from love, and there was no cynicism anywhere around, which was an amazing thing. Yeah, I think they did that. I just think Mark and Scott did the most incredible job with the music, and of course it again all comes down to Rob, because he was masterminding everything. But those guys are geniuses, and they managed to make this soundtrack or this compilation of songs that is both. You know, it had so many. Had to fulfill so many requirements. It had to pay homage to the original movie, which it does. It had to feel somehow contemporary and right for the present moment, and it had to also be music that could be realistically listened to in the 1930s when the movie is set, and it achieved all of those things and more. And I think it was when I heard the songs for the first time, I really knew beyond a shadow of doubt that the movie was going to be wonderful. I think it's thrilling to think of them discovering Emily Blunt's performance in the film. She's extraordinary as Mary Poppins. She manages to make it all her own and not take anything away from Julie Andrews' brilliant performance in the original movie, but she's a different version of the same character, and she's perfect and really complex. You know, she's a really many-layered, feisty, slightly scary, slightly sexy, very funny, earthy, and prim at the same time. So she's really nailed the nuances of the character in a way that I think is going to be very exciting for audiences to see.
It's just brilliant. I mean, it's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful that the film is finally going to be seen by people, because we shot it a year and a half ago, so it's been a long wait. Well, lots of people have been saying this, but I think it's coming at a good moment, this film, because it's a film that really celebrates life, I guess. I mean, it sounds like an obvious thing to say, but it's not something that films do much now, you know. And that's good also, but sometimes it's good to have a film that celebrates the simple joy of being alive, you know, and the joys of the imagination and of childhood and of simple things. Yeah, I think that Mark and Scott did the most amazing job, because, as you say, it completely stands alone, and I think it's a fantastic score. But it has I don't know what they've done. I don't understand music, but it has an echo somehow of those songs, doesn't it? And every now and then they weave in a tiny bit of the score from the first film too, which is very touching. There's something very beautiful about having seen two people that you'd last seen as children grown up, and I'm excited for them to see that. I'm excited for them to see. I'm really excited for them to see Emily's interpretation of Mary Poppins, which I think is tremendous. And from the moment she arrives out of the sky, you don't question anymore that it could be anyone other than her role. You know, she owns it entirely.
It's so incredibly amazing, and looking around, it's so amazing to imagine that I've actually been on the set and now I'm here. And it's so weird because it was so many years, 2 years ago, that we started shooting, and I went back to school and started having a normal life, and now I'm here in LA at the world premiere, and it's just amazing.
Yes, I mean, everyone is going to have so much fun. Everyone's going to love it. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
You know, it doesn't seem real. I'm having a hard time accepting the fact that this is really happening. It's something like 60 years. I can't believe that they did another one and I'm in it. It's such a joy. It's like bookends for me, you know? Yeah, they gave me 4 different versions of the dance. One easy one and one hard one. I said, I'm doing the hard one. And we only did about 2 takes. It just went great. Just went great from the beginning. Thank God. At my age, 3 takes would have been one too many.
I was dazzled. Like, I couldn't believe it. When we pulled up, the amount of detail that's happening here, it's like the set was. Everything is so real. Yeah, it's a real thrill. Well, there are a couple of really special moments. There are some. We see there are 2 separate moments, but they are 2 old friends that we meet again. One is a cameo performance, and one is I can't talk about the other one, but I can't wait for you to see it.
Yes, that's it. It's been a long process, and I'm incredibly excited. This is my feature film debut, playing the role of Angus in Mary Poppins Returns. I'm here at the world premiere, and I feel overwhelmed with excitement. I almost want to start dancing right on the red carpet, but I'm trying to hold it in right now. But yeah, this is an absolutely incredible opportunity. Definitely, yes. It's a big 10-minute, at least 20 all-male dancers jumping around, athletic, really moving our bodies, paying homage to Step in Time from the original, which is something that's really special to me, as that's one of the first dance numbers I saw on film. So to be dancing, acting, singing in Triple Little Light Fantastic in Mary Poppins Returns is mind-blowing, yeah.
Well, it really feels like a full labor of love has come to fruition somehow. Because,
and it's time.
And it's time.
It's time.
But it's when you say
deliver.
It's time, John, it's an interesting thing because I feel the film it's timely right now. I think everyone needs that lift and that sort of injection of hope. and light in the world, and I think that's what our film
I think
brings.
people will come away with that. I think there's no denying the heart of this movie, and everything you've brought to it. It's how he lives his life. It's his, his way of living is hopeful and positive and creating a good environment, even when it's very stressful and hard to get through a day. He doesn't let on, and it's really, I think you'll feel it seeing it.
She's such a great character. I mean, that's the thing. When you go to the books and you see what this character is, she's enigmatic, mysterious. What is she? She's such a dichotomy of so many things. She's kind of batty and wacky and funny, and also very stern and strict. But the thing about Emily Blunt playing this character is that she has so many layers as an actress. She has such warmth and humor underneath it all, and she's such a great actor that no one else could play this part for her. I mean, for me, there was no one else on the planet.
And they also have this great working relationship and personal relationship. So it's the ease of it's seamless, the way they create together. It was beautiful to witness.
Well, I will say tonight, I believe Dick Van Dyke is here. So when he makes his entrance in the film tonight, I think the place will explode. So that's something I'm living for.
They'll feel like we felt when he came on the set.
It's true.
You know what I mean? It will be, I think,
so we get to share that with everybody. It's very special.
Memorable. Everyone.
54 years later, I can't believe it. It's so thrilling to be here. I couldn't be more honored to be here on this occasion and just to represent the old days and the new days too. It's just sending shout outs to Julie, who's not here tonight, and of course to Uncle Walt and to Matthew, some of the people who aren't here. But it's an honor to be part of the new crowd and just so excited to see the film tonight and to be here on Cherry Tree Lane again. Could this be? But there couldn't be a better time. This world needs Mary Poppins to be back, and I think, frankly, the three best words I've heard this year are Mary Poppins returns.
It's been exciting since we started working on it. The first time we heard the actors reading it aloud was breathtaking. Seeing it come together on the screen was amazing, and now being here tonight it's a joy. I have no words, and I'm a screenwriter. I'm supposed to have words, but it's just tremendous. It's so much fun. Unbelievable, isn't it? I had no idea what to expect when they said they were going to be doing a little Cherry Tree Lane here, but this surpasses expectations. It's amazing. Oh, absolutely. I've seen the film. I love it. I couldn't be more proud of the way this has all come out, and I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be tremendously moved by what the actors do and the music and everything. It's fantastic. Rob is probably the greatest director of film musicals we have now, and we've had in decades, if not ever. It's an absolute pleasure working with him. I wouldn't have taken this film on unless it was, I can't think of who else it would be, no insult to the rest of the world of directors, but I did this because I knew Rob Marshall knew what he was doing, and it's just been tremendous.
It's on Sunday, December 9th. And what we did was we made a proper English lunch together, which was, I thought, very fitting for Mary Poppins. And I showed Emily how to make a roast capon. She showed me how to make a roast potatoes. Lynn made wonderful roast haricot vert, and Rob and John made cocktails. And it was really fun. Isn't that extraordinary? It's incredible. It just feels like you're right on the set. It was fabulous. I love it. I thought what was extraordinary is it just didn't redo the old movie. It moved it along. It was the next generation, and she's come back to help them too. And I love the story. I love the songs. I think it's for everybody, and it's just gorgeous.
Well, this is very exciting for us because the Fiora brand until now has really been Southwest U.S. And now we get to reach out and touch all of the Disney consumers. And of course, our consumers get to interact with Disney. And Disney's been very good about activating our brand and including it in the Mary Poppins activity, so it's exciting, it's fun. For many years, we've advertised that our toilet paper is light and bright, and it's sort of like balloons that carry people away, and it accidentally overlaps with the Mary Poppins image. So over here we have a display where you can hold on to these balloons and take your picture and automatically choose to have that picture posted to your Instagram account with the hashtags or be emailed to you. So it happens right away.
You know, the experience of making Mary Poppins Returns from the very beginning has been a journey of joy and passion and love. I hope people feel that in every frame of the film. I think that they do. And it's been a long journey, so to finally be here tonight and get to share it with the world is very exciting for all of us. My goodness, it's quite something. And Cherry Tree Lane has a place, I think, in all of our hearts. So to see it represented here in all of Hollywood Boulevard is pretty awesome and pretty amazing. But a beautiful journey, as I said, and a beautiful film. So we're really anxious for the curtain to go up and the audience to get to experience the joy that is Mary Poppins Returns. I think it was a great challenge. We were so respectful of the original, and it meant so much to all of us that we carried that with us. But at the same time, we wanted to create our own journey, our own film, use our own imaginations, and bring something quite new and fresh at the same time. And hopefully we've achieved that balance in quite a good way. When the music begins, you instantly feel like you're in the world of Mary Poppins, and yet, like the rest of the movie, the new music takes you to places you've never been before. The lyrics are fantastic. The melodies are so tuneful and often profound. And like any great musical, the world of the music defines very much the whole experience of the film. I think I'm most excited for audiences beyond the brilliant performance of Emily Blunt and the entire cast and the beautiful design and magnificent costumes and wonderful music is to rediscover the sense of possibility, that everything is possible, even the impossible. And we're living in a time where that kind of non-cynical message and that light in the midst of darkness is really, really needed. So I think that's what I'm the most excited about.
I mean, it's crazy. This is like old Hollywood, like old Disney World. I mean, it's amazing. I haven't been to a premiere like this in years and years and years. Maybe not since A Star is Born, the original.
But it's so exciting. I mean, we have worked a long time on it. Condensed. I mean, a movie this big, you would even think we worked longer. But it was an amazing, condensed amount of time of hard work, and then to finally have a big audience like it's going to be tonight watching it.
I would do it all over again in a second. I mean, I can't imagine Richard coming tonight and seeing all this again. And I mean, to have this twice in a lifetime is magical, more than magical.
And he was our teacher, our guide, our rabbi,
he was our Mary Poppins.
He was everything to us our whole lives. So this movie is our thank you to him and his brother. It's our love letter.
Well, HSN came to me and said, you know, you're the perfect person to do this bag for us because you're inspired by vintage. Part of my line has always included old vintage frame bags. You know, I remember the movie stars carrying them off the plane, and, you know, they're just a part of that whole history of fashion that it all came together. So we did it.
This is thrilling. I'm dying to see Mary Poppins Return, and it's a very big special event for me because we were there at the birth the very first time around, and I'm very excited to see this new movie. It's going to be wonderful, I'm sure. Well, she was created as a special magical lady. It doesn't explain anything. She doesn't explain anything, just does it. And I think that's what's special about Mary Poppins. It's a magical thing, and Mrs. Travers, P.L. Travers, who created her, gave the world a wonderful character, and we've had the joy of writing music for it, and now there's a whole new rebirth of it, and I'm very excited to see it. The new composers and lyricists, they're wonderful people, they're wonderful, talented guys, and I'm sure they've done a great job. I'm dying to hear it, you know. I've heard little snippets, and they're very exciting, so I want to hear it all.
Talk about the excitement. Well, I am excited to see it. I mean, I've seen it once, but I'm really excited to see it with a big, full audience, a big theatre full of people. When I was approached about the job, there was no question I was, not going to do it. Of course I wanted to do it. Mary Poppins was the first film I ever saw. Way back in the 60s. Oh yeah, when it came out. Yeah, so, and it's one of those films that obviously, quite often the things you see earliest in life are the ones that stay with you the longest, and you know all the words to all of the songs. So to actually be asked to be involved in a sequel, the new version, was, really, really exciting. I knew Rob Marshall's work, obviously, and I had never done a musical before. So the fact that I was offered a musical and with Rob Marshall, again, dream come true. I don't know. I mean, I think audiences are just going to love it whatever age they are, I think it's what it is? It's discovering your inner child again. I mean, I think that's what the film is about, and I think that's what actually happens to people. And I think really in this day and age, to actually go and see a film like this and come out with a big smile on your face is something.
Hey guys, did you know that the top 5 most expensive movies ever made are Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens at number 5, Avengers Age of Ultron at number 4, Pirates of the Caribbean at the World's End number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides at number 2, and coming in at number 1 is Avatar. Now click here below to subscribe for more great content, and on the side if you want to watch another video.